So some questions and answers around the subject matter of anxiety. A lot of people ask, is anxiety hereditary? Well, there is an indication that, like a lot of other genetic ailments, anxiety can be passed through family lines. For example, so can arthritis, thyroidism, diabetes, lung disease, leukemias and other various cancers, skin disorders such as eczema and psoriasis. So yes, anxiety can be hereditary. Can certain foods or chemicals lead to increased anxiety? The answer to that one is yes. Our environments in today's society are relatively toxic. We ingest huge amounts of unseen toxins daily. For example, pollutions such as smog and air full of CO2 emissions that include things like diesel fuels, coal and other industrial related air pollutants all add to the toxins that we breathe in and that our bodies are trying to assimilate on a daily basis. And then there's an even more unseen culprit that's just as deadly and just as widespread. Airborne spray particulate, such as those used for spraying foods, for example, things like azulam, Roundup, glyphosates, acetyl-chlor. These insecticides and pesticides are found in most all food sources nowadays. But they also spray all of our playing fields where we allow our pets and children to spend time in the natural outdoors, running around, playing on these fields that are heavily sprayed. There is a vast array of spray drift in our environment as well that we ingest, especially if you live close to things like golf courses or vineyards that use huge amounts of spray to control the quality of the produce or the playing surfaces of the fields for people to enjoy, getting the best of everything. This is a leftover fine matter particulate that is carried through the air after they have sprayed, and it's ingested via our breathing. Now these particles settle in our bodies and can cause an array of health issues, and they're now officially acknowledging them, and they range from hormone imbalances, cancer and stomach related illnesses, inflammatory diseases and chronic illnesses. When the body is unbalanced through such mechanisms as extended pollutants, this is indeed a time when anxiety can be fueled and a nerve or cellular memory default can be installed in our body systems to allow anxiety and panic attacks to be set up as part of the body's disrupted natural flow, thereby increasing the likelihood of panic attacks and anxiety. Some anxiety and panic attack periods can result from your higher self or integrity values being destabilized or feeling out of kilter as well. This can happen if you are undertaking something in your life such as a new job or a new relationship that is not quite sitting well at your soul or spiritual level, and it feels as though an internal pressure is hiding behind the scenes, but you can't quite come to grips with what it is you don't feel right about. When we reach a state like this and we have undertaken a new job or a new relationship or a new belief system that doesn't match with our perhaps original integrity value purposes or our moral ethic or our spiritual path, then we can find ourselves in a place of anxiety or panic attacks because it is our higher self or our subconscious speaking to us, giving us an alert that something's not quite right, that we need to readdress part of a situation or re-look at it or rethink the strategies around it. This can be a period when you will find some of your original or initial integrity values may be under questioning by yourself. You may be fundamentally making a big change at a very spiritual level, and this can also create or cause panic or anxiety because you're again destabilizing your previous understanding or perspective or spiritual awareness. Sometimes we can physically take on too much, such as exams, a new job, a new relationship. We could have financial struggles and health issues. We could be going through a divorce or a marriage. We could be experiencing deaths in our life with parents or friends or family. All of these intensely personal scenarios can lead to immense pressure and stress. Sometimes we can handle multiple events occurring seamlessly without any problems. So we then decide to uplift yet another challenge, and suddenly, boom, it'll hit us. It's like the last straw on the camel's back. Anxiety and panic attacks rendering us almost helpless. When these occur, some of the symptoms that we can suffer from, we can become nervous or agitated at the smallest of things. We can become fearful, frightened, scared to venture out. Some people even suffer from agoraphobia, which is a fear of leaving the home, and they can end up preferring to stay at home for everything. And that's a very debilitating stage of anxiety and panic attacks. Sometimes we can feel physically unwell, and we can exhibit signs such as nausea, dizziness, sweaty, hot and cold, heart palpitations, stomach upsets, and vomiting and diarrhea, being agitated and angry and disoriented, as well as off balance. We can also become shy and irritated and emotional, spending a lot of times feeling very teary or crying, and feeling vulnerable and very alone. Some people soldier on, just masking the obvious effects of anxiety, but really just getting through day by day. Our personalities can often change when we are under extended periods of extreme anxiety or panic attacks, because we mask the situation to hide it from those closest to us, or friends or family or work colleagues. Everyone has their own go-to method of dealing with the immediate threat of a panic attack or intense anxiety during a day or in a certain time frame. For some people, it's the need to get away from what is causing the fear feeling, so literally a flight mode, leaving the things that are creating pressure in their lives. So some people literally run from the panic attack or the anxiety. So they might suddenly up and leave their job, or up and leave a relationship, or up and leave the university course they might have been studying on, because that's the easiest way for them to deal with not facing the anxiety. Other people hibernate, they go within, they try to regroup or refocus themselves, and still possibly avoiding the root cause or the origin of the anxiety or panic attack. Some practices or methodologies can give a temporary relief from the intensity of a panic attack, anxiety. Some common relief sources for anxiety and panic attacks can include reducing the immediate commitments, for example, the workload that you're under, whether it be a new job or too much study, or working and trying to study, or a new relationship and taking on a mortgage, or extending ourselves in that way. So reducing the immediate commitments. Increasing sleep and rest and relaxation. Avoiding drugs and alcohol. Avoiding stressful situations, places and people. Increasing the intake of healthy foods, vitamins and minerals. and utilising meditation and exercise and counselling modalities. All of these common relief sources can alleviate the immediate stresses and symptoms of anxiety. But more often than not, eventually we have to look within our own selves to find out what is it that's causing this anxiety. So we have to do some inner work, some homework on ourselves. We have to nurture the body, nurture the soul and the mind, and listen to what we are telling ourselves. Question why we are feeling this way and how best to resolve it. And as I have given the information earlier, some can be hereditary. Some causes of anxiety can be community related, or pollutant related, or chemical related. And some can be stress and personal issue related, while others are integrity value. So there are so many different reasons why anxiety or panic attacks may occur, and for each and every one of you, it will be a different reason. So how you deal with it in the long term is entirely up to you as an individual. But certainly uplifting some of the relief sources and addressing it day by day and seeing what personal changes you need to make in your life are the very best ways to start on your new journey of living with anxiety. Anxiety will often tend to stay in the background, probably for most of our lives. I think one way or another most people suffer with anxiety. It's more about fundamentally learning how to live with the common issue now, I guess, of anxiety, and how to best deal with it in your life, and how to have personal systems in place or coping strategies that suit you to the most. As I say, everyone is different and handles it in a different way, and what is right for one person may not be right for yourself. As long as it is not destabilizing your life too much and you are able to continue on with a well-balanced, healthy, functioning, happy life, then when we have events such as anxiety or panic attacks that come to us, in many ways they are teaching us a learning lesson. We do gain knowledge from them. We gain insight about who we are and why these things are happening. We gain strength. We gain determination. We gain fortitude. We gain a determination within our own self-awareness of this desire to get through these issues, to work past them and beyond them, to make changes in our life. So it's also really important to not necessarily view anxiety as something to be frightened of and something to be fearful of, but rather to view it from the perspective of being part of you, part of the whole of you, that makes up the grand picture of who you are and where you are going. And learning to utilize anxiety as a mechanism that teaches you more about your inner being and your awareness of situations, including relationships and stress loads and desires and integrity values. When we look at anxiety from a more positive perspective, we can actually view it, instead of in a negative light, we can view it as a friend instead of a foe. So thank you for joining me on this anxiety journey. And as you can see before you, the beautiful calming crystals of the amethyst colour and the white and the gentle pink, they're very, very calming. And crystals are also another way of bringing peace and calm into your daily life. Some people like to carry a crystal with them in their handbag or their pocket, or have it in their room or on their office desk, or wherever they're travelling in their car. These are very good examples of peacefully generating crystals. They give off such a calming, supportive, nurturing energy. And there's also another really good one for people who need to feel a little bit of inner strength in times of anxiety, and that is the tiger's eye. So the tiger's eye can also be a very powerful stone for bringing back your self-strength. And it's a great one to have as a talisman in your pocket or your handbag. So I wish you all a very lovely, peaceful, calm, enjoyable day ahead. Thanks for tuning in and understanding more about how to work with and live with anxiety. Much love.